Findlay, I thought they had a really good game plan. They tried to take our defensive line out of it. They ran the ball effectively on us in the first half, too many explosive runs, and really did a nice job of getting the ball out of Reese Gervais's hands really quick. And we struggled with that a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. But second half, the script kind of flipped. We were been a little bit between the 20s. We were getting stops. We were converting on offense. I think we probably tried to take too many shots. Tried to hit the big one instead of letting things come to us. I'm saying as coaches, as play callers, and we kind of got back in that last drive. Was kind of throwing some of our 5 steps. So really proud of Bart. I thought Bart did a great job. I mean, with what they were doing, they were trying to take away Martavius Carter. The box was tight. It was extremely tight, and we just kind of kept throwing the ball and making some plays on the outside. And then once we got the lead, they had to get, had to throw some 5-step, and we were able to get a lot more pressure at that point in time. But that was a hard-fought game, and that was a team we knew coming in. It played a lot of people in this league extremely tight. They've got some skilled players on the offensive side of the ball, and I think everybody was here today saw that. But I'm proud of our guys. We never flinched, kept banging away, and I'm glad that we've got some guys that's made some plays, especially on the edges. Matt Williams, huge night, again, for having a senior step up with 10 catches, 179 yards receiving, and probably the biggest stat of the night, we didn't turn the ball over. I thought Bart did a great job back there in the pocket, even with some pressure in his face, making some good decisions and putting the ball where it needed to be. So no turnovers, and just made a few more plays at the end. Probably should on the Marty Long run. Probably should have had him go down. That'll be a coaching point. If he would have went down at the 1-yard line, been less than 2 minutes, we probably could have ruled the thing out. But there's some stuff to clean up. So yeah, we're 9-0. Not going to apologize for being 9-0, and we'll get back on here on tape and get to work. We've got two tough road games coming up in the league.
Now, was there anything to that? It was the first team that was able to move on you on that defense. Was there anything that they did that surprised you, or what was it then?
Well, I mean, without getting a ton of details, they were running, they were pulling their tackle and running a couple different schemes, and I thought we did a good job as a defensive staff at halftime making some adjustments, and that play really didn't hit quite as much. It was hitting on us in the first half. They had some nice compliments that they were doing. They were getting Chauncey Bridges out in our secondary, so they came in with some, a couple new run wrinkles, a couple new run schemes, and probably took us a little bit longer to adjust than maybe it should have, but we got a handle on it and kind of stopped the run better in the second half.
All right, how about the offense? How you guys dealt with the fourth quarter when you're behind? And that's a little bit different, but you also went through that with Hillsdale. Is this little trend starting now?
Yeah, I think the offense does a good job believing in what we're doing and making adjustments on the sideline, talking to each other, and picking each other up. Nobody's bashing anybody or any position group. Everybody's in it together, and just made good adjustments and just out there and made some plays.
And Bart, on that touchdown pass to Matt Williams that put you guys up, was that kind of a one-read play? Did you know that you were going to throw that back shoulder pass to Matt?
Yeah, we were down there, and Matt obviously having a great game. You just tell that that's where I wanted to go with the ball. So just one-on-one, and we won that matchup. So we work on that all the time in practice.
Matt, that seemed like on that drive. I saw the previous play when you guys went out at punt. You looked like you're pretty pissed. And then that following series, you went to him 3 times, and you looked like you were possessed. Can you take us through that one a little bit?
No, we just made plays in the next drive. We just kind of got the right play calls. Just got it rolling. We just got the music playing. We always talk, keep the music playing. And that's what we did that drive. And Bart made some good throws, got it protected, and it's all it is. I mean, we were beating ourselves on a couple of drives. I knew we could play better all around, and we did. We put it together and finally put it together when we counted.
Did you want to go to Matt? Did you, how you find the hot?
Yeah, it's obviously, back when you're back there, you feel good throwing to anybody, but, it's almost reminiscent of that ODU game when the ball's in the air, just knew Matt was going to go up and get it. So, he played a great game, just competitive, and, I think that's definitely what we needed. And, I think the other guys are capable, but tonight it was Matt.
When you have 2 games like that where, the Hillsdale was the same situation where you had to come back 17-14, same kind of score. It's different from the way you guys had played, the first 6 games.
Yeah, and some of it has to do with the opponent and the context of the opponent. But I've been around here a while when you have, there's a lot of these, and I'm not comparing previous teams to this team, but a lot of times you will go through 11-game schedules like this. We're sitting here at 9-0. It's not always going to be easy. And I think we have an appreciation for opponents, they came in motivated to try to knock off the number 2 team in the nation. They had a game plan. They were going to come in here and try to win, and they had a lot of confidence because they're 2-0. So, there's things that we can do better, but I'm not going to apologize. Like I said before, I'm not going to apologize, for winning. And there's things that we can get better at. But you're going to have these tight competitive games as you get down the stretch a little bit because of the nature of where we're at in the league and how people view Grand Valley State.
Along those lines, and without looking at past seasons, stuff like that, but 9-0 is the best start we've had.
Yeah.
And it's the best start Grand Valley's had since, I think, 08.
Yeah, but I think this I was looking at, we're the first time we're 9-0 since 2008. Yeah.
Does that, when you start going, this could be a special season kind of thing?
Well, in my opinion, it is already kind of be a special season to a certain extent, just because of the players. I'm not saying that these three are here. We have a great team. We have a lot of leadership. We have great kids that are competitive, and so from that standpoint, I think it's trending that way at that point in time. And we're in a very unique position right now, Pete, because we don't have to watch any of our scoreboards but our own scoreboard. We're 9-0. We're the only undefeated team in the conference, only undefeated team in our region. And we're completely in control of our destiny. So I think we'll have a group that'll come in tomorrow that'll be humble. We'll get on the tape, and we'll continue to work to try to get better at some things that we didn't execute maybe necessarily that clean today.
Matt, or Bart, can you address that a little bit? How this season's progressing, and when you start to get into the balance of this is a great year.
Yeah, I've never been a part of a team that's been 9-0, a football team that's been 9-0, and like Coach Mitchell says, it's just fun coming down here every day with your teammates, and every week we're just focused on being 1-0. So it's a new opponent every week, and that's what we focus on most of the time. But after a game like this, it just feels good to be 9-0 and in the standings where we're at. But come tomorrow or come Monday, it's time to get ready for the next game. Be 1-0 that week.
And defensively, Coach Mitchell, just you get that blocked field goal from Sydney, and Keem Belcher has that sack that sets up the 4th down, and Gervais doesn't even get a pass off. Just defensively, what stood out about this game, especially just in the 4th quarter?
Well, I think, I would first say the adjustments. I think our players and coaches did a good job making adjustments in the second half, and they drove a little bit on us. But, we talked all week that we felt like we had some opportunities with our field goal block team based on the trajectory of the kicks and the protections, and we just kind of preached like, hey, how we operate around here. We are more concerned with getting off the field on 3rd down and red zone defense, and so even though they kind of got down there, I think all of our kids kept battling, had faith that if we get out there, the block was obviously huge at that point in time, and then as I said, when we got the lead and they had to get into more obvious 5-step situations, then it became an advantage for us because we were able to play a little more coverage and cut these guys loose, cut Sidney and a bunch of our defensive linemen loose, and just let them go. They did a good job. They were in a lot of 2 tight end sets. I think that we've got to be able to adjust this. Like people getting these 2 tight end sets and do some of these things, try to take away the athleticism of our defensive line. Once we had that lead and we were able to pin those guys' ear back, then we got Reese. A lot more pressure on Reese, especially when we had the lead.
Matt, just going back to your performance one more time, just 10 catches, 179 yards, a couple touchdowns, just on senior night. Just what does this performance mean to you in the last regular season home game?
It's cool. Like you said, it's senior night, but Coach Mitchell said it. Usually senior nights have finalities to them. We're just getting started, and we want to keep going and just keep taking it week by week. Just like Coach Mitchell said, get back on the film tomorrow and see what we need to clean up and just keep going. It's special, like we've been talking about, but just got to take it 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time.
Sidney, can you take us through that block at all?
Yeah, well, I felt like I was getting pretty good pressure on game, and then actually the field goal before, I was kind of disappointed in myself because it actually went over my head kind of. So I was like, okay, this next one I'm going to block it. I told everybody next to me too, I'm blocking this one. It just happened to fall into my hands. So.
Sidney, was it a little frustrating defensive-wise? They were getting everything out so quick. You guys really couldn't get any push up there. As the game wore on, was that frustrating?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it was very frustrating at the beginning of the game. They were definitely, like Coach Mitchell said, taking away like what we usually do, which is try to make plays in the backfield. They're doing a lot of 2 tight end sets, trying to take us out the game. But we came back in the second half. Our coaches told us to take a deep breath, and they gave us a great game plan to stop what they were doing, and we went from there. We took coaching and executed. So pretty good.
Just talk about the adjustments. I think Bridges rushing had 80 yards through the 1st or 2nd quarter, and then he ends up with 103. Just, how did you guys with those adjustments just in the game? Just, how big are those? And just going forward, just with things, how is that going to game plan just into the next few weeks, just making adjustments and staying on top of it like that?
Well, I mean, when again, as I mentioned, given where we're at, people are they're gonna absolutely unload the tank on you. And then, credit to Findlay, surprise onside kick, which we talked about, but surprise onside kick after the obvious 15-yard penalty. And they kind of came out with a new run scheme we hadn't really repped up, and we struggled with it, to a certain extent. But I think by having a veteran defense and some coaches that have been on the block a little bit, we got it under control. We were able to get the run game stopped, and you're really proud of our defense only giving up 3 points in the second half. And we needed them because for that third quarter stretch, we were struggling a bit on offense to continue to move the chains. We had some, I think 3 consecutive series that were 3 and outs. We weren't very effective. That we needed our defense to kind of step up the play and be able to maintain the tie, or just keep it within a 1-score game and keep us within striking distance with our offense.
What can you do? Finlay ran 23 more offensive plays. Teams are going to use that scheme.
Sure.
What do you?
Well, I mean,
How do you?
you got to stop the run. You got to stop the run on first and second down and give them some obvious third longs. And I don't know that we got them in enough obvious third longs. They were getting the ball out quick on some slants and hitting some slants and running the ball, and we didn't get enough stops on first and second down to get us in some third long. So yeah, obviously we're aware of their game plan and what they're going to try to do, and they tried to help their defense out by keeping their our offense off the field a little bit with what they were trying to do on the offensive side of the ball. So again, I said in a lot of the media stuff, Rob Keys, I've worked camps with Rob Keys. Rob Keys is a good coach, and he had his staff had a really good game plan coming in here. And I thought his team executed it very well. I give their players and coaches a ton of credit. It was a very competitive game. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ken.